Hello and welcome to Pitching In, the story podcast that explores the difference between taste and expertise. I'm Christian Barratt, and joining me are my two guests for part 2 of our MCU Endtrospective. We've got Mr. Paul Grabovac.
Aloha.
And Mr. Ryan Woosnam.
Hola!
We're in the middle
this
of
is
an epic...
basically Endgame.
Yes, we're in the middle of an epic Endgame review and celebration now of the entire MCU universe.
It's basically us just cheering for the next hour.
Basically us just enjoying... Okay, so we're going to just do
glee.
as much as we can.
Except
We don't have hours and hours here, but we do have a little bit of time for us to try to contain our excitement for this excellent series that's been going for 11 years. So far, yes. Thank you. Love it.
They're going to milk this baby.
We're going to see if we can, bring some wisdom and some comment to the fore. Try to be as eloquent as we can. To the Thor, and try to
Chubby Thor? Or?
captain our way into iron
opinions,
and iron out the
inequities,
and make widows of the.
Well, look, we're all going to have a marvellous time.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, now I would like to start, if it's okay, with... Can I start by giving you guys a quiz?
Yeah, please.
Is that
sure.
okay? It's not very long. It's got 5 questions, but they have a few different parts to them. Do you guys have papers and pen? Papers and pen? Because you've got to write this down. So, all right. I'm going to go into the correct part of my notes. Where would you rate your fandom to start off with in terms of your fandom of
the films?
MCU, of the films? Just the films.
Like a 9 out of 10?
9 out of 10? What would you say? And I guess I'm talking about...
Maybe 7, because I've missed a couple.
Do you feel...
Well, because I did say see Thor
you had
2.
Okay.
Well, I have seen Captain Marvel.
Okay. We have to address that first.
Them.
Paul, have you seen all of the MCU movies?
I have.
Fantastic. A man after my own heart.
Have
you seen any of... Which ones haven't you seen, Ryan?
Thor 2.
Okay.
Which no one gives a shit about, right?
I like Thor 2. It's my number 9.
Oh.
It's my number 9.
And Captain Marvel, only because it was fresh out.
Okay, that's fine. Captain Marvel is well worth seeing, as well as Thor 2, which you have to see.
I don't know.
All right, so let's have a look at our MCU Endtrospective Quiz.
I'm terrified.
We haven't done any quizzes on this show, but I wanted to do a quiz because I thought it would be fun. I wanted to challenge these fellas. So, all right, question number 1. There are 5 questions in total with a total of 22 points.
Oh.
See that? Oh, that's really nice. So, Avengers Endgame...
Should have been 11 questions with a total of 22 points.
Oh my gosh, symmetry. I would have loved that.
I'm going to look at the answers over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, crap. Okay, so question number 1. Avengers Endgame sits at $2.27 billion, just under $500 million short of Avatar. It's the biggest grossing film ever. 6 other MCU films are, according to Box Office Mojo, in the top 20 grossing films of all time. I'm going to list those 6 movies, and I want you to tell me from what they are from highest to lowest grossing. Okay, so we've got Black Panther, Infinity War, Iron Man 3, Avengers 1, Civil War, and Age of Ultron. Now, they are all in the top 20, and just try to put them in order. You don't have to tell me where they are in the top 20. Just
are we working together here? Or
No. You got to get stuff.
I'm going to get stuff.
Paul likes his chances here.
No, he's going to destroy me.
How are you guys going?
I've put my order in.
Yeah,
you got your order
living the dream.
Okay, well, I think we'll go with answers as we go. 6-1.
Yeah.
We have, at 20th on the list, we have Captain America Civil War.
Dang it.
That is the 20th highest grossing. Next on the list, at 18th highest grossing, is Iron Man 3.
Okay.
Next on the list, at 10th highest grossing, is Black Panther.
Okay, this is not working well at all.
Next on the list, at 9th highest grossing, is Age of Ultron. Next on the list, at 7th highest grossing, is Avengers number 1. And last on the list, at 5th highest grossing, is Avengers Infinity War.
Yay.
So we got 1
I
each?
got 1.
1 point each.
I also got 1.
Excellent work. Did you get the approximate order right or anything?
Got close.
Pretty close?
Nah.
What did you have?
I had Infinity, Black Panther, Avengers, Civil War, Age of Ultron, and Iron Man 3. I always thought that Black Panther was floating up there as a big... I remember it...
Well, it was.
I thought it made a lot of cash. I thought it made a lot of cash.
It did for what it was.
That's what I know. Yeah. What I'm saying is I thought it was like, for some reason, it became this... Because it was very nominated for Academy Awards and that.
Well,
it got major hype.
And I'm sure it had a big opening weekend, I think. It had a few bigs in terms of grosses.
I think it had 2 or 3 weekends in a row that were pretty good.
Okay.
From memory.
Okay.
So Civil War was the weakest?
Civil War was the weakest. That's number 20.
Wow.
That's wild. I thought that did way better than Ultron.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Well, you got Iron Man 3.
I feel like Ultron has more layman buzz and like it's
Well, people
more
are excited for
accessible.
another Avengers film.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we got one each. That's great.
One out of 6. That's
He thinks he
you're
knows
doing
it
all
all.
right.
Well,
doing all right.
as much as me.
That's got nothing to do with knowing the movie.
No, it
Listen,
doesn't.
listen,
It doesn't.
listen,
That's
listen.
why
To be fair.
these are tricky questions. Only a few of these are easier questions.
None of them.
All right, this next one. This next
None of
one,
one of them.
Is
multi-layered.
tricky, and now I'm confused about how I'm going to get you to answer these.
Sorry,
But that's
ask
all right. We'll
question.
figure it out.
Here we go.
Question number 2. Write down which movies these lines are from,
Oh, I can do that.
and you get extra points if you can tell me who said them.
How many are
So I
there?
guess there's 5.
Okay.
There's 5 of them. So I guess I'll do them one at a time, and you can just write down the answers as you go, and then we can refer back to them.
Yeah.
So the first line, you get hurt them back. You get killed, walk it off. Who says that? And you get a point for if you can get the movie and who says it. A bit of
No, it's
rivalry,
got to be.
bit of banter there, guys. Bit of banter between them.
Oh, we're on the banter bus now.
Oh, having a ride.
Toot toot. I know one.
I know one. All right. Line number 2. I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking. I'm intentionally not using any of my acting prowess.
I mean,
to bring it. Paul's laughing because he knows that if I wanted to, I could be RDJ.
I was laughing at being
He's
so
laughing
giddy.
with me.
So giddy at the
'Cause
prospect.
and he's got a lump in his throat. He's crying as well.
Yeah. So
Even though I eat popcorn. All right, next one.
Is it?
Third line. I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta.
This better not be Thor 2, all right?
All right, next line.
Guessing that. All right.
Well, now I'm standing. Happy? We're all standing now. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
It's a good line.
Second.
All right, that was number 4. Got our last line. Do you have any ideas? You got?
Yeah.
All right, last one. 2 different lines. The first character says it. It says one line. The second character says the second line. You can give me either character and the movie.
Should I get a bonus point if I give you both?
Yeah.
All
You get
right.
both characters. How's space? Space is fine. The concentration is impressive. I like this.
Okay.
This
is some-
this
quiet
is some
podcast.
fandom. This is some fandom put to the test. All right, should we go through the answers? So
Yeah.
you get hurt him back. You get killed. Walk it off. That was Captain America in Age of Ultron.
Certainly was.
I put Iron Man Avengers 1.
You know, I went back and changed it when you talked about number 3. When you get to it, I was like, oh, is he doing a tricksy on me? That's okay.
Yeah. That's what I was like, I've got 2 from... No, I have got 2.
Ah.
I was like, that would be good. All right, next one. I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking. That is Falcon from Civil War.
Yep, you gave me the thumbs up. That gave me nothing.
Oh, that was me saying I'm proud of you for trying.
Don't give me... I said Rocket from Guardians. All right,
No, but that is one of the answers.
thanks for giving me the thumbs up.
Would you guys say you've seen most of these more than once? Of the movies
Oh,
that you've
yeah.
seen,
Oh,
have you
it's
seen?
been a long time.
I've
Look,
probably seen most of them.
Get me in a room.
I mean, the
Star
older ones
Wars
I've seen at
questions.
least half a dozen. Of the older ones I've seen I've seen them at least half a dozen times.
Oh, not that many times.
But when you talk about, it's only the last kind of 6 or 7 that I may have only seen once.
Okay.
But even then, even Ant-Man and the Wasp I've seen twice.
Yeah, the ones I've seen the least are Endgame, Marvel, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and
Yeah.
there because I've seen them twice.
Yeah. All right, number 3. I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta.
There's Iron Man from Ultron.
That is absolutely correct. Iron Man from Ultron.
No, it's actually Thor from Thor
When they're doing
2.
the test, when he's like grabbing it. Do you guys know what Prima Nocta is?
First night means you get to wed anyone who gets married.
Well, you get to sleep with
The bride.
The bride. It's the whole crux of it's one of the big things in the story of Braveheart.
Okay, I'm going really well. This is just
Okay,
taking
you
me
doing
back
good?
to high
Doing
school.
good?
All
All
right.
right,
Like
number
my
4.
exams.
Well, now I'm standing. Happy. We're all standing now. Bunch
No,
of
use your
jackasses
acting
standing in a
prowess.
circle. No.
Come on. You do it.
Why?
You can do it.
You're gonna test me.
This better.
Well, now I'm standing happy.
This
We're
better-
all standing now. A bunch of jackasses
This better be
standing in a
Rocket.
circle.
It did sound like Barney.
Oh my god, guys! Oh.
Well, now we're all standing. Bunch of jackasses.
This is Rocket,
Standing
right?
in a circle.
That's why I got one right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Rocket
all right.
From what? From what?
Well, obviously,
of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
One.
One? I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I wanted Ryan to see.
Oh,
me.
sorry.
It's okay.
I just wrote Guardians, so one.
So he's
Okay,
right.
because there are 2 different.
I'm getting a
movies.
point. I don't
That's
care
great.
what you say. I've got
No, you
one point.
definitely
You get
got
it. You
that
get
one.
it.
I got Thor 2 as well.
All right, let's get our last one. How's space? Space is fine. What are you guys going for?
Is that Infinity War?
No.
See, I was
thinking Iron Man versus Pepper Potts when he's
I kept umming and ahhing whether it was Ragnarok or Endgame that you might... Because I was like, didn't Hulk say something, or did someone say something when the ship lands and Nebula gets off with thing? That's
pretty good.
I thought you were going to try and do that.
Do you know what? So it's a
But it's
female
not.
saying it to a male. How's space?
Space is fine. It's Thor, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's...
Is it Ragnarok?
No. He's going to hate it. It's
Thor
from
Dark
Dark World.
Okay, so I get a point.
It's
That's
Darcy.
Darcy.
It's Darcy saying it to him. How's space? Space is
fine.
fine.
So I'm on a
That's one of my favourite lines.
I'm on a huge
So good.
2 here.
Well, I think you guys might have a chance. So those are some of the harder
I got
ones.
no chance,
I mean,
right?
they do get... Oh, do they get easier? No, I
No,
don't think they
because
do.
they're
I don't think they do.
bulky-layered.
They're all harder and harder. But no, this is good.
This is
All right,
insane.
how you going for
Century.
points so far? There was a potential... You could have earned about 13...
I'm 2 out of about 20.
16, 17 points... 16 points could have been earned so far. How you doing?
2 out of about
2 out of
10.
16. Nice,
Okay.
that's pretty good. All right, question
I'm
number
gonna do it
3.
straight back.
This is just a one-answer question. In which movie is Black Widow introduced to the MCU?
Ryan, you answer first.
Is this a post-credits introduction?
No, she appears in the feature. She appears in the film.
Okay,
Which
so-
movie does she first appear in?
Iron Man 2?
He's correct.
That's correct.
Yay!
Kind of. It's a slightly
'Cause I'm
tricky
tr- well,
question
because
because
I
she,
rem-
she
no,
doesn't appear as Black Widow. She
No, because
comes
I
in
remember
as...
the fight sequence
I-
with her and Happy,
Yeah.
and that takes place in number 2, right?
Yeah.
I knew it
And
wasn't.
I'm just like, I want one.
I knew it wasn't Avengers. Yeah. And she's like, no. And Pop Feather says no or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool.
Much maligned film. People don't like Iron Man 2, right?
There's no stakes.
I like her.
Come on, Whiplash is sick.
I got more
Right.
than number 3.
Yeah, he is.
Number 3 doesn't feel like Iron Man to me.
I want my bird. Right.
I want my
My
bird.
my bird.
You want a bird? We'll get you
I
a bird.
want my bird.
My bird.
Get him
And,
a bird,
and,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and what's McCullough?
Bird, I'll get you a bird. I'll get you a
It's
bird.
so good, Sam Rockwell, that. Come on, it's good. It's
And he
well
dances.
cast.
No,
Any
it
movie-
was.
Any movie where Sam Rockwell is the
There's
next.
most of that last sequence where like no one died. And you're like, what do
Yeah.
you mean no one died?
All right, question number 4. Who are these Tony Stark inventions named after? Jarvis, Friday, and Veronica. So Jarvis obviously is his first AI, Friday is his second AI, and Veronica is the Hulkbuster, the Hulkbuster armor thing that comes in.
Oh, dear.
That's what he calls, that's his nickname for the Hulkbuster armor, Veronica. What are they named after? All right.
Jarvis gets answered for you in Endgame.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because Jarvis is his dad's driver or butler or
Yeah,
something
Yes,
like that.
that is
so
absolutely right.
that's
He
what
appears
it
in the
is, so-
he appears in the
He's actually in the
Agent
Netflix-
Carter
Yeah,
TV show.
series.
He's the only character
very
that's
cool.
gone from the series
A-
into the
ATV.
movie.
Yes,
There's
yeah.
an Easter egg.
Very,
I have
very
written
nice.
down. All right, so that's one.
All right, so that's one. You got that right. Friday. Anybody want to jump in
No.
on Friday? No. So as far as I'm aware, it comes from the Friday being a slang to His Girl Friday from the movie His Girl Friday, which is a 1940s Cary Grant film, and it's slang for a secretary or assistant.
Okay, cool.
So it's like, oh, it's my girl Friday.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And the last one, Veronica. Any ideas?
From the comics. Jughead.
Yes. Why?
Oh, because was it that she's something to do with the relationship she has with someone?
Because there's a nice, fairly obvious
So Veronica from
connection
the Archie
to
comics.
Yes, there's a very nice link between Archie comics and
And I
Hulk.
used to know it.
Yeah.
They didn't
So think about
cross
who
over, did
Veronica
they?
is in that world.
Yeah, she's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you half a point. If that's all you got, I can give you half a point.
You didn't say to justify it. You said, what's the link? The link is the comic.
That's true.
I mean, but no, that's not the whole link.
Nah,
It's not
but
the
it
whole
is.
link. Well, I'm the judge.
Okay.
No, okay, I'll tell you what I think the whole
0.2
link
or
is.
3
I'll
of
tell
it.
you what. You can have a point, but I'll tell you what the link is.
Yeah.
So Veronica and Betty
Yes,
fought over Archie.
Betty.
They fought over Archie, and Betty
Banner.
is Banner's other half. That So that's where the kind of humorous little link
As you
is.
said it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
giving
said-
myself a
I
point.
said his long
Sure.
lost sister, so I don't know. There's something close. All right, so
Okay.
I have no idea.
Very nice. What, another couple points there for you guys?
Yeah,
Very well
doing
done.
well, smoking it.
Okay.
Out of a
Don't
possible
forget.
22.
That's out of question 2 and 3. Questions 1 and 4 don't really relate to the movie. Have you
Exactly.
seen that?
It's potential extraneous
I'm
information.
smoking it. I'm 4 out of 20.
So it's okay. if you haven't,
okay.
if you don't know all those intricacies.
fine.
All right, last one. On Steve Rogers' list of things to catch up on from Winter Soldier.
From which country?
Very good point. So what I would like is I would just like 2 of the things that appear on... Pretty much you can give me any list that you want, I suppose, but the only ones I'm familiar with are because he showed different lists depending on which country the film was screened in. So I'm happy to... I'm looking basically for anything from the US version or the Australian version because they're the only ones that I suspected any of us would have seen. But if you want to bring one in from one of the other ones that you've seen, go for it. I just won't know if it's right or not.
Look at it. He's smug. He's already written it down.
I've written two, but I
one
don't...
of them-
So
One of
hang on
them-
a minute. What was the question?
So the question is, give me two of the things that are written on Steve's list in Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
When we see the list pop up, when he
Falcon
meets
shows
Sam
him.
Wilson for the first time, and Sam Wilson tells him something to put on his list, and then he writes it down on his list, and you see the list. And depending on which country the film was screened in, that list was different. That list had about 12 different versions or something.
Oh, well, then it'll be something like...
But the version that's on Stan that I watched has the American
Checks out.
version. It doesn't have the Australian. I've never seen this Australian list, which I have available to me now. I'm
Oh,
glad
well.
this Australian list didn't appear, because it would be like, why would he
So
have
these are
these
things that he's got to
Australian names written down?
solve or save, or there's
No,
issues
things
going
that,
on?
no,
No,
these
no.
are things that
Pop
you should
culture
check
references that he's missed throughout
out to
the
catch
world.
up. Yeah, pop culture list to check out. Because Falcon recommends a pop culture thing to check out.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
You could probably have a broad swing at some major pop culture references and have a good chance. You
Yeah.
need two. You need two to get 2 points.
All right,
You have a
honestly.
point for each.
You're right.
No, I won't.
Big, no, think big, like,
Just big
cultural,
pop culture things
pop
that
culture
you would
events.
recommend to somebody who hasn't been around since
Okay.
1945.
All right. Okay. All right.
Which are the
To
big
catch
ones?
up on the history of,
To catch
of,
up on
of
the
culture.
pop history. What are you going for?
Also, a great album that he recommends. I've got it somewhere on my Spotify.
Is it really? I'm going to listen
Oh,
to it.
nice. Yeah.
So that's cool.
I mean, if you like the sound of the song at the end of they
Yeah.
listen to it in the hospital.
Okay.
Another clue.
No, I'm lost.
All right, on your left. So, from the US version, shall I just go with the US version? Do you have any from the Australian version?
I took a stab at the Australian one and put Crocodile Dundee on it,
That's,
Ooh,
I would have made
okay, no, he's not on there.
but the two I originally put were Beatles and Rocky.
Ooh, Beatles isn't on there.
Is it not?
Gangnam Style.
Beatles is on the UK version.
Right.
So I'm happy to take that. All right,
And I
so
put
the
Star
US
Wars
version,
as
we've
well,
got
but-
I Love Lucy, Moon Landing, Berlin Wall, Steve Jobs, Disco, Thai Food, Star Wars and Star Trek, Nirvana, Rocky and Rocky 2, and Trouble Man soundtrack. Trouble Man soundtrack
That's
is the
right.
one that Falcon recommends. And the Australian list is AC/DC, Space Travel, Steve Irwin, Skippy the Bush Kangaroo, Tim Tam's Thai Food, Star Wars, Star Trek, Nirvana, Rocky 2, and the Trouble Man soundtrack.
So that's why I put Crocodile Dundee, Steve Evans on it.
Yes, yes.
What a shitty list.
I mean, yeah.
Because
I don't
in the
quite,
context of
like-
the film,
Yeah.
he's still in America.
Exactly.
It's like,
like-
go see Steve Irwin. Like, all right.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
outdated as Crocodile Dundee as well.
Oh, exactly. But Crocodile Dundee isn't on there.
Yeah.
That's just was
I
Paul
know.
suggesting.
But I remember it was as like I think they're
Oh.
both as stupid as one another.
Yes, I think they're both big.
Hang on.
Okay.
All right, so
I got
have a
nothing.
look. Give us
Was
your
awful.
scores.
How much more punishment have I got?
That's the whole quiz done now. You've done a very good job.
4 out of nothing.
22.
It's 4 out of 22.
I
Okay,
got
well, as
I got Thor: The Dark World out of 22.
9.
Yeah.
Ah, great. Well, I mean, I don't want to make too big of a deal of it, but that's pretty much a rating of how big your fandom is. I think
What
this
am
is
I?
the
Am I-
official word.
Did you do that quiz for yourself before you started?
No, because I probably wouldn't have got 9.
I'm below 25%. That's great. I'm
Well,
going to go back and watch these movies
what about
again.
in the quiz?
What a terrible thing to have.
Yeah,
to
I
do.
know. This is my high school maths exam just reappeared on my desk right here. 4 out of 22.
Well, yes, obviously that
love
has,
it. That
that
was
has
my
no
exam.
real
Sorry.
indication of your fandom. I think you both did very, very well in that very
Those questions
biased quiz.
were
Yeah,
horseshit.
you could have picked more film-centric questions.
They
Nah.
fucking sucked. All
Nah.
horseshit. The whole thing was fucking
Yeah, of
rigged.
course. It was. I just wanted to see. They was
You
just,
just
the thing.
wanted to bust
These were
my
just some
balls.
facts that I found.
Oh, we are going for balls as a swear word this time.
Yeah, we'll just do it as well.
All right. So
It's another one.
MCU Endtrospective. So what I reckon we'll do is by the end of this,
The parking meter.
at the end of this episode, we're going to talk about our top 5. We won't go into that just
Okay.
to start with. I think we'll maybe finish with that. Our top 5 MCU films.
All right.
But is this the best film franchise of all time?
That's dangerous territory.
Not even close for me. It's not even close to Dangerous Territory. It so is. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have a different series that you think is
Well,
it is 22, which is hard to compare because there's no other Bond.
Bond is up there, but that's not really.
No, I'm saying Bond is the only one that has. Bond is the only one that has
look,
the
I
number
don't
of
think
films.
you have to say number of films in
No,
this quality.
that's correct.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's hard to compete because this has had the most chances to be good.
I personally beg to. Well, I just beg to differ
for it.
because I'm a Star Wars fan. So, having
This-
said that, to me, Star Wars is
Star Wars is way better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
this?
It's just it tickles all my fancies. It presses all
Nice.
my buttons, and I
But
enjoy
in
it
terms
most.
of a legacy journey, which isn't finished yet. It finishes this
No,
year.
and the Skywalker, and that's right. And we've got to see the end of the
man.
Skywalker franchise.
You've
or
got
the
3 shit
legacy.
films.
What do you mean 3 shit films?
Here we go.
Prequels.
So we're talking.
Hang on, I shouldn't say shit.
Come on, that's another.
It is 3 average films at best. 3
Absolute best.
3
So
really
the
cool ones.
original 3.
Yep,
Great.
I'm all on board.
So the prequels.
I don't think the original 3 are that great.
But
You just can't.
Yeah,
I know.
All right? You're,
But they are good.
You're in. You know.
They're very
like-
good. They're very good.
I would say in terms of quality,
Don't poke the high.
quality,
I'm sorry.
and, quality and storytelling, there are many films that they sit above in the MCU list. You know,
Man, there is people
Better
dressing
than
up
Thor: The
as
Dark World,
creatures in the
but-
background
No, I
of
don't
those
think so.
films that no one
But
gives a
see,
stuff
what I
about.
struggle with though
Goes
is taking them
through.
out of their context. Like within their context, amazing. They forged new ground. They did amazing new things and brought people into the 80s, which is like my favourite type of films. But sorry,
Hey, hang on.
go.
You asked
Yeah.
the question.
Yes, exactly.
And
You go,
I'm
Ryan.
answering
Yeah,
the
yeah,
question.
you
are
go,
answering.
keep going,
And my
keep going.
question,
Go for
my
it.
answer is Star Wars. Because
Wonderful.
I mean, I love the Marvel universe. Yes, I do like it. But I was brought up on Star Wars. So I have that as like my childhood attachment thing. So I love it so much, and I love the characters, and yes, some of the new films are not the greatest, but I still enjoy them. I still go and watch them. And there's some exciting stuff coming for that series, and thankfully they're putting the brakes on, and there'll be films like in 2022 as opposed to like
a
punching
new
them
trilogy,
out.
new
Yeah,
story.
plus
Get away from Star
plus
Wars.
the Disney series,
Skywalker.
the Mandalorian series that's coming out, which is awesome,
Cool.
which is all about bounty hunters. So there's some cool stuff coming. There's also been some great animation. So if you add all that, it's massive. Like you add in all those animation
That's
series,
true.
that's a massive
That is
plethora
true.
of material. Shell load of books that were written which are not canon anymore. So it was part swear word as well.
Yeah.
Drop that in there. So there's a lot to it. But I guess I just enjoyed I love the human element, the aliens, the robots, everyone chucked together, the resistance versus the dark side, the lightsaber duels, the kind of space cowboy element, the that just some of the story arcs they come up with amazing. A shame some of the books didn't get made into films because they're really
I wonder
really
about
good.
that because I haven't read any of the
Oh,
books.
some of them are so
And you
good.
have
It's
that-
such
you
a
have that
shame.
as a
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
pulling out elements from them now.
They are, but
But they're all
they
non-canon
missed some
anymore.
absolute pearlers. Like they really did. If they'd gone straight after Return of the Jedi and started making the books, maybe 1 or 2 are pretty iffy, but there's some great ones in there. Really, really good stories, particularly with the children of Han and Luke and Leia and all that, all sort of matching up against each other down the track. But I just love it, and I think Marvel is probably the second best in my book.
Okay.
Because it's got all those characters you love. I mean, I remember being upset in the Avengers latest one, but I was also really sad when I watched Star Wars when Anakin turned to the dark side, and I remember thinking, there's so many years we'd seen he'd already been Darth Vader, and then we see this sequence where he's in pain, and it's terribly written. I mean, the script is not the greatest in those films written by Lucas, but the moment where he commits to be a bad guy, I remember being like really taken aback by it and really upset, and then he goes and kills all his mates, and it shocks you to the core, man. And he kills
all
those kids.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
And I remember being just as sad in that sequence as a fan lover of those films.
I read that there's only 9 minutes difference between when he swears that he won't turn bad and when he turns bad.
Well, he just goes ape. Like he has to. Like he has to literally wipe everyone out because he's told to. Order 66 is kill all the Jedi.
Oh, that's right. It was 66.
I mean, and I would say Marvel's probably the second best. But that's just a personal choice.
Of course,
I think
of
people
course.
would say Marvel because of the production value and the money.
No, to me, it's just storytelling. The storytelling in Marvel Cinematic Universe is so nuanced and deals with really it deals with so many themes. It has, I compare it to my brain. I compare it to Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Back to the Future, all the ones that have sat in my brain as either really long or really popular. And the storytelling in this, the closest that I get is maybe Back to the Future, which I think has very, very clever storytelling. I shouldn't have eaten a curly whip.
No, I think you should have 3 more. That would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
Then I want to have series. But yeah, I don't. To me, the storytelling in Star Wars is very 70s. It's very simple.
Not that it has to be, but like it's certainly a byproduct of its time and its intention. Like it wanted to be a spaghetti western in space.
Exactly, and therefore, because it doesn't shoot as high, it doesn't get as far.
Oh man, come on. Star Wars is massive. Like it's hit all the right markers for all the right people.
No,
I think what they've tried to do, unfortunately, with the newer ones, particularly the ones with JJ and that took over, is try and be too smart.
But I don't
try
mean
and be
I
too
don't mean
clever with the films.
I don't mean it hasn't been as popular. I mean it hasn't been as good. Because to me, popularity and quality isn't the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but people still love those stories.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a bunch of people that will go in and sit and watch those movies and really enjoy them and enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
They're not going to go and look as deeply as some of us do into the
Sure,
story arcs
sure.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's that popcorn element of film.
Of course,
where you
but
want
what
to
I'm
go in
saying
and
is
watch.
that what I really like about the Marvel Universe is I think it does both. I think it deals with some, at times, very
Well,
heavy and serious storylines.
Totally.
And it deals with them with levity. It deals with them with a lot of really good balance. Again, it doesn't do everything perfectly. It's not a perfect series. But I just feel like but I can definitely see, it's like, I figured you would say Star Wars. I can definitely see Star Wars as a contender.
Well, I told you, you called down the thunder, you got it. Well,
Of course, and that's
Bring it in
I think I don't think it's not justified. I think you're perfectly justified, and I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise. I think
it's not gonna
that's
work.
wonderful, and the fact that for you it was something that you grew up with, and it's been cornerstone of probably your storytelling experience in your life. Like that's beautiful and wonderful, and there's no way I want to argue you away from that in any way. But anyway, yes. What about you, Paul? What do you think it's your best? Do you think it's the best series? Would you argue that there's something else?
So I've got 3 notes, and I'll do them in reverse order. Fast and the Furious.
Why are you bringing that up?
All right, hang on. Before I go into
right.
anything at all, have you watched them all?
No, I haven't. No, exactly.
I've pretty much watched them all bar the last one.
I've heard some very
which I
positive
believe
things.
has a submarine in it. Which crashes through the
last
ice.
one or second last one?
But
Has a submarine.
I haven't watched them all because
That's maybe why I
did-
gave
like
up.
I don't. They don't interest me, and I've
First
just can't
couple.
turn them off. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't keep trying. So I
First
should
couple,
keep trying.
thumbs up.
No, the number 2 is horrible.
Oh, maybe that's why.
But
Yeah.
Maybe because I've jumped in on the wrong ones.
But again, so this is my reverse order. Fast and the Furious does a lot of the same things structurally that we love about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in terms of recurring characters, plotting seeds that don't get payoffs till 2-3 movies later. They're up to 8-9 movies.
Yeah.
Now there's a spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, Hobbs and Shaw, which actually looks crazy, wild, and fun. No.
And the core story is supposed to be
Ragnarok.
family and this core group of people, and while that core changes and evolves over time, the films respond to the audience as well.
Okay.
And I've been really appreciative of that journey, and I honestly, as naff as they are in that sort of their cheesy
Of course, but
action
they're
movies,
doing that on purpose, right?
exactly.
Yes.
They're leaning into what they're doing. They're conscious of it, but not in a wink to the audience way. Let's go. There's escalation in the action scenes that make it more exciting every time. There's twists and turns to the characters that, again, in that James Bondy kind of way, you're like, oh, this is a bit. It doesn't matter. These are the rules of your world,
Of your universe.
and if I succumb to it, I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
But that's at the bottom of my list.
Okay.
Having recently watched Mission Impossible Fallout, I'm putting Mission Impossible on the list.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Ooh, that's a good point. I mean, I really like...
Just take Mission Impossible 2 out.
And Mission Impossible, for me, take out Fallout. I didn't really love Fallout, although I really like Christopher
Oh
McQuarrie.
my god.
My favourite is what was the one just before Fallout?
Rogue Nation?
Yeah.
My favourite is Rogue Nation.
no.
I think that's very
But
clever.
that I'd say the last 3 to 4 films have finally hit that magic point of we're going to keep the same core cast. We're going to build relationships and, again, tie things back together. We're talking about universes in the same way that Marvel is.
Yeah.
I think Mission Impossible have found that sweet spot
That's
as
a
well.
good call. I think that's a good call.
I love them. Set number 2.
What Marvel's always up against, or any other series is always up against, is 22 films.
That's what I mean.
That's aggressive.
And as you say, I'm not saying that
but there's a
22
few of them that
automatically
just
means
don't
that it's going to
so-
be... But I mean, that out of 22, I'd say at least 10 are very good films.
Which brings me to my number 1.
Yes?
Because we've just got to the end of Endgame, which is a complete story now. We've got from Iron Man to Endgame. It could never... They're bookends. It's done. They can do more films, but it's done. But for me, in terms of a complete story, the Rocky series...
Including Creed?
Including Creed and Creed 2. So what you've got is film number 1, incredible, Academy Award-winning film for no small reason.
Ugh.
You don't like it?
No,
Oh my god.
No, I'm freaking out a bit.
Why?
Because I'm trying to imagine how you would possibly contain all of the amazing fun and joy that is in the Marvel series into 5 boxing movies.
6.
6 boxing movies.
And then 2 Creed,
7.
so 7, 8.
Yeah,
We're up to
Okay.
8.
Okay.
And
But
again,
I don't mean that. I don't mean to be.
I'm
kind of also excited that maybe.
I'm not talking
of
of you just brought up joy and excitement.
Yes.
That's not what makes any particular series good.
What? What do you mean?
Well, Godfather isn't about fun and joy, but you're like, fuck, what a series.
So boring.
Okay, for you.
Sorry, yeah.
But sorry.
It's like $50.
But if you're like the merits that you give the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yes.
and again, this is me talking as challenges to that. Like
Right.
the question was,
Yes.
what could compete?
Yes.
And to me, Rocky is an absolute contender. Pun absolutely intended. Whereby it's a complete story now. Like there'll be another Creed. My guess is Rocky dies.
Yeah, I suspect.
Probably.
Yeah.
Given the journey he's been on, but like, what a perfect loop that would be if you know the story of Rocky.
Okay.
In terms of his training and his upbringing and his life that we've gotten to see now. Like he's playing like a young 20-something in
Yeah.
Rocky 1.
Yeah.
And now he's in like his 70s and 80s in this now. And you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like, when do you ever get... I'm sorry, but when do you ever get an actor playing the same part for this amount
Yeah.
of years?
Yeah. That
You know,
he
Luke
wrote the
Skywalker's
first one
probably
of.
the... Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Luke's
wrote
there.
the first one.
Yeah, he wrote the first
We've
one.
also done Star Trek as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's a legacy character. There are some failings in it, but there are failings in the MCU as well. And if anyone could contend, for me, it is Rocky.
That's,
Yeah,
a, good, that's
okay.
a really good call.
I feel. I mean, again, like I feel. I'll need to. This is exciting. That's part of my freak out. Is it's like, oh shit. Okay, I really need to check that out because I've only seen Rocky and Creed. They're the only ones.
Oh
out of
my
any of those
God,
that I've seen.
no way.
Am I really missing out?
Yes.
Okay.
Holy heck.
Number
Okay.
4.
4?
Ivan Drago.
Forget it.
You would lose.
Like the last mainline Rocky one, Rocky Balboa,
Yeah.
just
Oh wait a
it
second.
tears
I
me
think I've,
apart.
Is that the one? That's
Oh,
when
I
he
haven't
boxes
seen
up. He
Rocky
goes
Balboa.
back into to fight that young
Oh,
guy.
no, I
isn't he,
haven't
for
seen
like
Rocky
a
Balboa.
tribute match, something. That's great.
It pulls him out, and it pulls
Okay.
him, and
And he used to
oh,
punch
God.
brick. He used to like punching bricks or something. He used to like hit really hard because the guy's quick.
like that. But then like something happens. I won't spoil anything.
Yeah,
but like,
it's a good film.
okay, thanks. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, I'll check that out.
but yeah, that's my answer to the question. I still
That's
think
great.
MCU has had 22 films to figure it out a lot more than any other series.
But I would still argue that Iron Man, the very first in the whole series, is I think. So to me, like, all right,
Yeah, go on.
I don't want Ryan to
You're
punch
not
me.
wrong.
But
This
to
is
me,
your opinion.
yes, I know, but Iron Man
He's
one
squirming
is
in his
better.
chair.
Iron Man one
I
to
like
me
it.
is better than all the Star Wars combined.
Iron Man 3?
Iron Man one.
I know one.
Come on.
I'm sorry,
That's okay.
and not because they're bad, but because Iron Man to me is like a very strong, really good film, and all the rest like. My favorite Star Wars movie is Force Awakens because
that explains a lot.
Yeah, it's got the modern complexity. Well, some of the modern complexity of modern storytelling. It keeps pace, but it revisits the joy and simplicity that was the original Star Wars. But then again, I watched the original Star Wars out of order. I watched the third one first, and then was really surprised to see how weak Luke was in the first one. I was like, "What's he winching for? Where is his powers?" Because the first time I saw him in the third one, I was like, "This guy's cool. He's like flipping people and chucking things around and wearing a hood." Yeah.
You're not qualified to
so
comment
to
as
me,
far as
to
I'm-
me,
you haven't
exactly,
watched it.
and that's what I think. So,
You
so
have,
to me,
dare you.
Star Wars. I've seen all the Star Wars.
Yeah. Out of order.
Yeah.
To be fair, they're made out of order.
Yeah, they're all over the job.
But
put
yeah,
it
so
in
to
order
me,
if you want.
like you take you could take like maybe 3 different. Just take all the Avengers movies. Just take all the Avengers movies, and they are better than any other series ever. Just take all of the.
No.
Maybe not all the Iron
No,
Mans,
they're
not all the
not.
Captain Americas. I think, like to me, they are.
But will you ever be able to look at that objectively without knowing the films that come in between them? Because one informs the other now.
I mean, of course, it would be ignorant and arrogant of me to say that I could do that
Like
completely.
if you jump from Ultron to Avengers Endgame, Infinity War,
Yeah.
like what happened to Thor?
Yeah. Okay, all right. So maybe other
You know?
examples. So to
It
me,
starts with the
to
rest
me-
of his race on
so
the show.
maybe I can try to do like a reverse comparison. So to me, the series that could contend with the MCU, the best in that series are as good as about the halfway point of the MCU. So the films that I put, so I'd say they're better than Thor: Dark World,
Don't you dare.
but not by much.
I'm sorry, what?
Because
There was another
but
Thor?
just to
Wasn't it
reiterate,
just Ragnarok?
because that's the movie that I put it about halfway in the MCU universe. But I think like it's weird because I just love movies in general, and I love the fact that people love movies, and I really like. Whilst I'm arguing with you about this, I'm going like, no, I don't want them to back
Robust
down. I
discussion.
don't want them to agree with me.
Which I'll smother
That's
Christian
why I'm
in
like
his sleep.
smiling and feeling awkward because I like the fact that we can, I can have a discussion with vaguely intelligent guys. With two
Enjoy the rest of your podcast.
Hang on, I got 4 out of 22.
With two guys whose opinions I respect, and I still like they'll say something, and I go, "What do you mean? Iron Man is and I'll my brain will go on
Conversely,
this
what
rant.
do you mean? Like,
yes,
all right,
of course.
Can I then dare test? You said great franchises, and we know how big the Marvel Universe has been created.
Yeah.
I would test it against the 3 from the Dark Knight series of Batman.
Yeah.
Because I know you don't. Another one you don't like. I know this, but that has enough going.
They're not
on.
even in my top 15 of the
Man,
MCU.
they've got everything
Shit.
happening in them.
They're so silly.
No,
they're so silly.
They are so
good.
silly.
there's so many stories.
Batman takes himself so seriously in that movie.
course
He's like,
he
guess
does.
what? I've designed a new suit. What are you going to do? I can turn my head. Oh my gosh, you're a genius. You can turn your head in a second
That was
film.
written into it as a bit of a
Oh
joke. That's an
my gosh.
inside joke about not being able to move the cowl top of his head. That's
I know,
just one
but
joke.
I know,
hang
but
on. Are we not agreeing that intrinsically the MCU is all a bit silly? It's not like they've rationalized and meant, oh, these all exist in a world that completely is understandable and logical, which is what
No.
Batman's sort of agenda was. It's like,
Yes,
let's try
exactly
and ground this.
Okay,
And I
yes.
think Iron Man took elements of that, but then
Yes.
went, oh, let's add a
I
bit
think
of...
you've got a very good point. So I guess what I'm focusing on is the emotional logic. To me, that's what makes any story work.
Oh man, it's got it in there.
But Batman's psychotic.
No, see, to me, Batman. Nobody talks like Batman talks. Nobody talks like the people talk in that movie. When he goes, Rachel, all of this, like he says this, all of this, it's not me. It's like, what are you doing? And then she goes like,
You're impersonating Keanu Reeves from Point Break.
yes,
That was
yes.
actually a really good Christian Bale. I could really see that.
I actually spelled like it was Keanu. It was Point Break-ish.
No, I was with you. I was with you on that.
Okay, that
joke.
was good. Anyway, okay, he's being judged.
But conversely, no one talks like Iron Man.
Yeah.
But
Hang on,
emotionally,
conversely,
I just think he's believable as a character. He's believable as a character.
Raccoon, right, in existence. So
But that's what I mean. But emotionally, emotionally, Rocket works. Emotionally, there's a reason that you tear up when he says "We are Groot," because emotionally we connect with these people.
Man.
Because we get the sense that they're emotionally real. At no point am I emotionally invested in the Batman Returns.
oh, I loved it.
I
Me
think
too.
I really don't like David Goyer. I don't think he's a good writer, and I don't think he's done a good job in anything that he's done. But again, like, good luck to him.
Hang on, do you like Inception?
Yes, because Christopher Nolan wrote that.
Oh, that's right.
So Christopher Nolan only directed the Batman
Yeah,
films. He didn't
okay.
write them, as far as I'm aware. Maybe Jonathan wrote one or co-wrote one.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
What
on,
about
man.
the one on the beach? The war one
That's
that recently came out?
Inception.
No, no.
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
That was pretty good.
Oh my god, I love that. But that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the writing. That was all about...
Yes.
The only
So,
one
I mean,
good
the
Goyer
ticket
in that
plot going
stuffed
for the
up-
whole thing was
They
intense.
stuffed up Superman in that. When they went and did Man of Steel. He went and stuffed that. But the Dark Knight series, man, that's a cracker. And that's
But
probably
okay,
a whole
I mean-
other podcast. But
Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
And
And
the
we can
other
agree to
thing-
disagree. But so I guess that did bring up, which I think is really relevant, is that so what I'm looking for and what I believe as a storyteller, and what I've studied of story and things like that, and what I view as an audience member, to me, emotional logic is the most important thing. It's what makes any good story a good story, and layers on top of that are what add to it. So if it's set in the real world, layers of realism will make that better. If it's set in a fantasy world, layers of fantasy and metaphor will make that better. But if a movie to me that doesn't work, more often than not, it's because the emotional logic falls down. It's the reason Thor doesn't work for me, because the characters almost all seem psychotic.
For the Dark World.
Sorry, Thor 3. Thor Ragnarok.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
someone's got homework tonight.
So for me, that's the main thing. And so, for instance, in Star Wars, I don't particularly connect emotionally with any of the characters, which I find interesting, and that may have something to do with the order that I watch them in. I'm pretty sure it would.
Do you enjoy the characters? Let's say, like, let's just isolate someone like Han and Leia and their sort of
yes.
relationship stuff.
So what
do
I
you enjoy
definitely-
watching that?
What I do remember is watching Empire Strikes Back, which, as I say, Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Which one's last?
Jedi.
Okay. There we
Jedi,
go.
and
That's
then,
an
then the
example.
newer ones.
So
after.
Jedi, when he comes out of the carbonite, that's the third
Yeah.
one? Yeah. I feel like such a newbie. Anyway.
You are.
So I really liked, as soon as you saw him, I was like, wait, he's the cool guy, right? He's like the confident one. And he's all like blind and he can't. I was like, oh, I really found that interesting. Really, So I definitely found it engaging, but at no point during the series of that did I tear up. At no point during the series
Well, not
of
if
that...
you watch that one first.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. Well, so maybe I'm tainted and affected by that negative.
Possibly, yeah.
By that, yeah.
A
So
lot of
that's
people were messed up by the death of Obi-Wan in the first one. A lot of people were upset by the fact that, Darth Vader says to Luke, "I'm your father," and then chops his hand off. These are
when
moments that-
Optimus Prime dies. in
What's
the
terrible?
Transformers
What's
movie.
terrible is I don't know if this was the experience for you. Did you guys, when you saw Darth Vader revealed, was that a genuine reveal for you, or had it ever been ruined by The Simpsons?
Dude, I was like 6. Simpsons went
Yeah, I
out.
saw those things at the cinema. You wouldn't have even been around.
You weren't seeing Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm only a year younger than
Yes,
Paul.
you
I
were.
beg your pardon.
Did
You
you
would
see
have
it
been
at the
about
cinema?
I
6.
was in a.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have memories of being
That's
in
lovely.
a Mitsubishi van.
6 or
at a
5? 5 or
drive-in.
6?
Well, because 77 was the year I was born. For all
But
the ages
Jedi.
out there.
Oh, no,
which that's
but
the first year
Empire.
that the first one came out in New Hope. And then apparently
Empire
I
was
was
80.
at Empire, so that's 3 years later, and I was apparently there. And then the one I do distinctly remember is, because I've obviously watched afterwards, but I distinctly remember watching Return of the Jedi at the drive-in in Calgary.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a friend of our family was in the car, and because I couldn't read the subtitles of Jabba the Hutt, he was reading them out for everyone and doing like a booming voice so they could all understand what was
that's
going
really
on.
nice.
And we got most of the way through, and then at some stages, most people do now when they watch Jedi's, I fell asleep during the Ewoks. But
Yeah.
Like
That was my favourite bit. That's
awful-
my favourite bit of any of the
sums-
Star Wars
that
stuff.
sums everything
When
up.
the Ewoks come in, they're so fun
Absolutely.
and like
That sums it
I feel
all
so
up.
sad for them and like
That
when they have
sums
the
it up.
Why
What
is
were the two-
fun
There you go,
such
there you
a
go.
constant thing? that
Another
you're
sad
searching
moment.
for?
2 little Ewoks, they get blown up. One of them dies. Sad moment. You got your sad moment. Check that in the bank. There's
Yeah,
your crying
definitely.
for you.
And that's why that's my favourite of those of the
Tell
trilogy.
me about sad
Boba Fett
movies
goes
that you
down the
like.
Sarlacc pit. Sad.
Pardon?
What are some sad films that you like?
Okay.
Because you speak a lot about fun and excitement.
So the first movie I think of, oh man, there's loads. Okay, I Am Legend is pretty sad.
Boring.
The only thing I don't like about that is the
Oh,
CGI.
that is a good film.
Not just because the dog
Oh,
died.
thank you. Okay, fuel for fuel.
There's another
No.
spoiler. Is that? There's probably a spoiler.
Okay, so I think I Am Legend is like
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Iron Giant. Iron Legend's kind of boring, yeah.
Iron Legend's the one with all the CGI
It's Will Smith and the
zombies.
dog.
those
yeah.
those CGI, that CGI is not great, but I stand by my belief that there's so much in that film that is beautiful, and I really like it.
Okay.
Iron Giant, beautiful and sad.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely true.
just great. Another
No,
sad one.
perfect
Another
film.
sad one.
Yes, that is a great.
Yes,
But it's not a
really good.
sad film.
No, true. All right, help me think of sad films, and I try to tell you if I like them. There's lots of sad films that I like. I just can't think of them. I like a dark movie. What's a dark
The thing
movie?
that
I like is
came to
Nightcrawler.
was The English Patient.
English Fashion's pretty boring.
Or The Notebook.
Oh, no.
Notebook
Come
is,
on.
Notebook
The Elephant Man?
has one of my
No.
favourite sex scenes because it just was like a real sex scene where they're just like
Well,
fumbling around
let's
and
not
like.
get perverted. All right.
No,
that-
I don't mean like in
is
a
that how it
pervy
goes for
way.
you?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I'm going to write that down. In
you know
my
when you
note
walk up the
while
stairs
we're
and you
here.
fumble on the stairs and you giggle because you're both so hot and into it.
Oh,
I'll show you later.
someone needs to take a cold shower.
Innuendo.
And this podcast has just turned for the people.
What are
tuning
we
in late at
talking
night.
about?
I don't know. We've lost track.
Well, we're talking about the series
Marvel.
of MCU versus.
And then we've turned into you said sad.
and now you're
films,
trying
so
to ask me
you've
about
changed
sad films.
Sorry, it's just, yeah.
You know?
Back on track. You
Let's get
people.
back on track.
All right. I think you've explained. You reckon it's the best, and we've thrown out.
I reckon
a few
it's the best
of-
by-
a few that we think.
And like so the
But you think it's
closest.
the best by like an amazing amount.
Yeah, I mean the closest. Like I really like hearing that you. So that's right. I was going to come back and say Star Wars. I saw like it got ruined by The Simpsons easily
Oh, okay.
before I saw it. I must have been 10
See,
or
I
11
didn't
when
have
I
any
saw
of
it.
that.
I must have been 10 or 11, so I saw it in like 1996,
Yeah, forget it,
95,
yeah.
96, and so I already knew he was his father.
Yeah.
I already knew, I saw
Yeah.
the third one first.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm sure it sounds like I sound like I was ruined before I started. So I do try to take that into account. The closest I can come down to is Back to the Future, which I grew up with and just loved from the start. But even then, like, there's no way Back to the Future can compete with Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor
Yeah.
2
my
and
God.
all the Avengers movies. Not even close.
You and your Thor too.
Me and my Thor 2. No, it's number 9. It's number 9. All right, let's move on to another question.
Oh God,
That's me.
that was a long drawn out.
That's covering a lot of, okay, superhero film fatigue was something I wanted to talk about, something that I've heard come up a lot in critiques and reviews. Whoa, we're getting some superhero fatigue, superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts about it? I think it's like a bit of a nonsense thing to say. What do you guys think? Do you think we could get sick of these films? Do you think...
I think where it's coming from are the films that aren't in the MCU. So, like, we've got all these MCU films coming in, and in between all them are your Batmans, your Supermans, your Justice Leagues. Everything else that sits between that isn't hitting at that same level, that isn't part of this connected universe, that isn't part of this narrative. And I mean that both within the film and the social narrative of going to see these tentpole Marvel films is what's leading to the fatigue. That's what I think.
So you think fatigue is happening?
I'm the opposite.
I know people who are still waiting for Batman to show up in an Avengers movie. That's the kind of... No, because that's the ignorance that's out there. And I don't mean that in a snooty way. I just mean that some people just go, all superheroes are the same, aren't they?
I reckon we're about to hit it. I reckon we're actually about to hit superhero fatigue. I reckon we've had all the films that everyone wanted, and I think they're going to start cobbling together films now, like the new Spider-Man and the new Black Panther. I'll talk about the other ones coming. And I think people are going to go, you know what, I feel like it's kind of finished. And then they're going to go, oh, okay. And then there's all these random characters which I'm going to explain down the track that are coming out. And I think people are going to go, oh, I don't really care anymore. I really like Tony. I really like Captain.
Yeah, but Iron Man was relatively unknown before.
Yeah, they took all their B-listers.
Well, it's massive.
And then nobody knew who Guardians were. Nobody knew Guardians. Nobody knew Thor, really. Nobody knew Iron Man. The only person that anybody knew was Spider-Man.
But we've done 11 years.
And it took us until 2015 or something to see Spider-Man. 16, I think, was when Civil War came out. So they were going for 7 years, 8 years before they even saw the only recognisable Marvel character that they had on
But
their
you
roster.
had an amazing Spider-Man in between there. You had Andrew Garfield.
That's true. Of course, the reverse Spider-Man came out, but none of that was part of the MCU.
No, it wasn't. But this is sort of back to my point that it isn't just Marvel in the game. You have the Batmans in between as well. Like
that's true. Well, because
Shazam,
my overarching, I have two main points overarching on this. Is like, firstly, what counts as a superhero movie? I think Matrix is a superhero movie. Basically, any movie where a person has powers and they're against regular people or they're in the regular world, that basically is in the same territory.
Is Sixth Sense a superhero movie?
No, it's a thriller and a supernatural film. But thank you for asking.
That's a power.
That's a power.
Yeah, but it's to do with...
Star Wars
to me,
superheroes.
It is. Superhero movies...
Space wizards.
Superhero movies are basically... If the main point of the story is that you have a character who is... greatly powered in relation to most of the people around them. It's an amazing person in a regular world. That's kind of I think that is the type of story that most of these fit into. And I think if we think we could get sick of a type of story, I think that's the only way you can jointly categorize all of them. You can't jointly categorize all of them by the fact that some wear costumes, because not all of them do. You couldn't jointly categorize them all as being fantasy, because Iron Man, you wouldn't really call Iron Man fantasy. You might call it sci-fi, but it's not fantasy. You know, I feel like I basically am not. I'm saying that I don't think superhero is a genre, and so I don't see how you can get fatigue of superheroes. I think it's oversimplifying things to say that we can have superhero fatigue in the way that I seem to be reading it in a lot of these articles. Secondly,
well, the box office would be the suggestion of that. Because if people stop attending films,
Spider-Man's going to be a good litmus test for that.
Yeah, yes. but everyone goes because people love Spider-Man.
But they do. But everyone's like, "Aren't we done?"
Well, yeah, but
isn't this story done?
I don't understand, I still think people love Spider-Man.
What I don't understand is nobody will ever say, "I'm done with stories." So as long as you long as you can show this is new, this is a new version of an old thing, which every story is. It's always a new version of an old thing. As long as you can keep doing that. So as long as you can keep making them good, and by definition, in order for them to be good, they have to overcome any fatigue that we're going through. So as long as they keep being good, they'll keep being good, and fatigue is not a problem.
And Marvel has done the smart thing of pressing ostensibly the reset button now.
Exactly.
You know? So
now we get closure.
I've done the X-Men thing.
Unlike Lost, unlike a lot of TV series, they give us closure, the end of our story, and we just want more stories.
And new audiences don't have to go, I have to watch 22 films to watch the next one.
Exactly.
Like, they can probably start from whatever comes out after Iron Man.
And I thought 23 is a hell of a lot to expect people the first go around, presuming this is the first go around in this kind of thing. And they did amazingly with it. And I say that of the audiences too. We did amazingly to watch and to be engaged and to keep up and all these other things.
Yeah, well, I think it'll come down to box office, and I think we'll see. We will either be completely, you'll be right, and I'll say, yeah, everyone still loves it and will go, or we'll see a slight drop off at the box office where Spider-Man will not make the money it wanted, and people kind of going, you know what, we feel like we've seen the end of it. I still think Spider-Man will do well because he's a well-known character, but if we start throwing out other characters like I'll explain what's coming, and then we'll kind of see, I don't reckon some of these ones will make as much money as they were.
Before you explain what's coming, because I think that would be a good thing to go on next, I've got to tell you guys a secret. So I'm actually from the future because I've got time travel things like in Avengers Endgame, and we're actually going to be working on Phase 7. So
cool.
Just want to let you know that. So just start planning that and have a think
who's
about
around then?
If I tell you, it won't happen.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm pretending to laugh as if it's a joke, but it's not, you guys. All right, so what have we got coming
Just
up
gave me a
that I
weird
already know
full eye
about?
roll at the end of.
Yeah, the creepy psychotic eye roll.
All right, so this is just what I've ripped off the internet, and presumably this is all happening because Marvel is moving into its next phase. And
Phase
they've
4?
already-
Phase 4?
Yeah, it's phase 4, but they're it's probably a little open ended. So we've got Spider-Man: Far From Home. That's the next one, technically, which will lead straight on from the end of the last
Looking
film.
pretty good.
It does mention
Looking pretty good.
the death of Tony in that.
Which is the end of Phase 3 officially.
Officially, as Paul said, which is cool. And great Mysterio on that, I think, will be great, and I'm interested to see what they
Jake
do with it.
Gyllenhaal's good.
Yeah. We've got Black Panther 2 slated, so that's coming
Yeah.
in light. So this is where I'm starting to think it will drop off.
Oh.
Because I think Black Panther...
There's too much hype behind that one.
What, the
I was gonna
first
say,
one?
it's pretty,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty
so I'm
hyped.
thinking, once again, we've seen all the main characters, and now we're going back to Black Panther, and people are going to go, oh, we're
Yeah,
not
but these
that-
are going to become the main characters.
Yeah,
We're going to be
no,
like, wow, back
I-
then we never thought that could be made, and then
I-
you no.
It won't be
So-
a billion. I think you go back to not Iron Man 1 levels, but like it'll be basically like going back to Iron Man 1.
They'll be making some money, but what I'm saying is they're not making that massive
No, they're
shelling
going to ramp
cash.
up again.
They're
though.
just gonna
So then we're
Yeah,
going
they're
to
just
do.
gonna do the same thing.
We got Doctor Strange 2, which
Yep.
once again,
Yeah.
does he have enough by himself? Yes and no.
I
The
watched-
one that I reckon will be successful coming is the next one I'm going to say, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, with James Gunn back on board with
Yeah.
his script.
Yeah.
So everyone loves Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Gamora's back, the whole story arc. So that's definitely going to be working.
Yeah.
So those ones are pretty much what I know are
I
locked
hope they
in.
use that. Do you think they use that as the end of Phase 4?
No, because
I
there's...
don't think so
Probably
because
not.
there won't be an Infinity War tie-in anymore.
No.
You know what I mean?
So what else there is? So that's
She's from that narrative,
Yeah.
like Black Panther's from that
Oh,
narrative,
yes,
but they're
yes.
not tied to the story.
No, but that's what I mean. So, but they'll be. Could that be the end of the? Like, if they're working in phases of 3, could that be the end of Phase 4, and then they move into Phase 5, and they move into Phase 6, and that ends this? Those
Depends. I don't think we're going to see like an Avengers film anytime soon, like an
But do you
Avengers
think-
style film.
no.
Do you
for a
think
while.
we're going to see groups of 3 phases where the
Not
stories take
necessarily.
place over 3 phases?
Hang on, I'm getting to these things.
Oh, okay,
Right,
sorry,
listen.
Ryan.
You
You gotta
go.
listen.
Sorry, I'm just so excited for us
I
to get
know.
to Phase 7, so that
All
I
right,
can,
so,
so we can,
so we can get there.
so we can make.
Well, but this is the work we're going to do first before we get
Okay,
there.
you're right.
All right, so
You're
the
always-
the
this is what makes
rumoured,
us so tame,
these are
yeah.
the ones that are rumoured. So that's the ones that are definitely happening, those ones I said. These are the
Okay.
rumoured ones. Black
Okay.
Widow,
Yep.
which is coming out, solo film, which takes her back when she was working with the
Yes,
KGB.
prequel,
So
great.
it's kind of a prequel type of thing.
Yep.
And apparently Scarlett Johansson's keen, and it is all in
Yes.
the works and it's being talked
That's
about.
gonna be
And then there's, I don't know this character, I had to research, but it's Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
which is basically a Bruce Lee character.
He's a kung fu master.
Kung Fu master,
Yes,
and
yes.
it looks really cool. Like, I looked
Yeah.
it up, and was like, cool. It's basically Bruce Lee.
He's got no
Anyways.
powers. He's literally just the best. at
No,
kung
but
fu.
he's got
Really?
double his strength, and he can do like power punches and stuff like Bruce Lee. So
Yeah.
it's basically
Oh, so
those
he
two.
has. He's like peak physical human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
that's cool. That's
yeah.
cool.
So the other one is, which definitely I think will happen, is the Eternals,
Well, they're casting that.
which is
already.
which some of them are cast. One of the guys from Game of Thrones is in it, and a few other
Angelina
characters.
Jolie's in it.
Angelina Jolie. So it's
Oh.
basically gods and aliens. It's kind of like Hercules and
So these are the precursors
Sentient.
to the Celestials.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been
So-
around for millennia.
yeah,
Ah.
Yeah.
yeah. So some mad ass characters in that from what I've looked up.
Okay.
The possible ones that are coming, so
Yeah.
there's obviously Ant-Man 3, because I
Yeah.
have a
Mhm.
revolution of that.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel 2, which
Yeah.
is possible as well.
Yeah.
That's probably a given.
Yeah,
but
I'd say.
it's not slated. Like
Because that's
what
already
we've
made
seen is
1.1.
slated,
That's 23 or 27 on the most
Yeah.
highest grossing ever.
but it's just
still
not
pretty
slated like what I've seen.
Okay.
It's definitely
Sure,
locked in.
sure.
And there's a film called Nova, but I don't know. I just saw the
low. Oh
name.
yeah, Nova. Yeah,
which is
Nova's
based on,
he's
he's a
a
corp.
Yeah, he's a Nova Corps guy with a
Yeah.
with a helmet and
Looks
he's-
like Judge Dredd a little bit. It's
Yeah, he
got, you know,
does. Yeah, yeah.
it's a military sort
Yeah.
of character. So those are all slated now. The made for Disney stuff, which is going
Oh
to turn
yes,
into the
yes.
series.
I was gonna
Disney
ask about
Plus.
these.
Which is going to link in
Disney
a lot of
Plus.
what's happening is Hawkeye.
Yes, Hawkeye. Yeah.
So Hawkeye in that series will be training the new Hawkeye,
His daughter.
which is his daughter.
What's her,
so-
is she going to be called Hawkeye as well? Is she going to
Yeah,
be like,
she
sure
basically
or like
becomes Hawkeye.
Arrow?
They'll
Lady?
make her Hawkeye.
no, she
Okay,
becomes
sweet.
Hawkeye because
because he-
written out.
Oh, he can't, so
Loki has his own series apparently slated, and Tom Hiddleston will be signed on.
Yes.
And apparently
Is that going to chase his adventures with the Tesseract?
it
He
takes
stole?
over
That's
from
what everyone thinks.
it takes over from the end game.
Yeah.
where he takes
Oh.
it.
Oh,
So
okay.
when he's still floating in the
So
world,
it's an alternate-
it's an
alternate dimension.
Alternate dimension. Sweet.
Then we also have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Yes.
which is together, which is a sequel.
What will
which
Falcon be captain? Will he be
Well,
captain?
that's what I think is going to
I
happen.
think that's the journey. Like him
That's what I thought. He's
becoming-
going to try to live up to.
That's the gist
and-
of it.
Yes.
And there's,
Yeah.
I reckon there's a little link into them possibly training the characters. I'm going to speak about soon. And then there is WandaVision, which is,
Yes.
is the love story between
Is
Scarlet
that
Witch
following
and...
a couple of months, or do you think it's going to be
Terrible
her imagining
name.
him
No, that's
existing?
terrible, but
I
that
think
goes
it's fun.
That goes back to when they were together
that fun.
pre to Infinity War and when they
If
were
they
living
do
in
something-
London
Basically, if they do something worthwhile with that, then like I'm looking forward to them showing why that name is cool. That's
Well, to me, it smacks of her like imagining that he's there.
yes,
He's dead.
and I like the idea that that's what they mean to make us think, and they're going to turn that on its head and make it really, really cool.
Oh, okay.
Because the other option is Shuri downloaded enough of him and they can get him back.
Yeah, that could
Yeah,
possibly
that's true.
happen. No,
That's a bit easy.
you don't have to. Like, but it's a superhero film. No one has to die.
But I don't mind
Timelines exist and everything else that
yeah.
you can do. Tony, we back
And you
in
don't have
5
to have
years,
anybody
you
to
can
die
cash
to bring
in.
it stakes either.
Yeah, so that's going ahead of what I've seen and what I've researched online. So there's some pretty cool stuff happening. I like the idea of the series, that with Hawkeye and all that. I think moving ahead because that'll give us a little bit more weight. I think I envision, and this would be my pitch as we talk about pitches moving forward, but I envision this being the pitch of what's happening is these TV series for Disney will be building the next Avengers team, and the next Avengers team technically should be, or if they go in the direction, should be the Young Avengers, which are basically the children of some of the characters. So what I've written down as the Young Avengers is Iron Lad, which I think we kind of see the teaser.
Ironheart.
Well, that's his name. Iron Lad is an Avenger. So
No,
we do.
Ironheart is in the comics. It's the girl.
But we also have that young bloke that is at the end
From
of
Iron
Tony's
Man
thingy,
3.
which is
Yeah.
that Harley Keener, which could technically be Iron Lad if we want to link it in through that. I don't think it's fully linked through that. We also have this character called Hulking, which is basically Hulking, which looks like a Hulkish type. Hulkling looks like a Hulk character. I might have written it down wrong. Yeah, Hulking or Hulkling. He's a big greenish looking dude, but he's actually an alien. He's linked to some of the celestial characters. He's not, but he looks like the Hulk. That's what I'm saying.
Does he have Hulk powers?
He's an alien. There's a lot of story arcs to him. He's linked in Thanos' sort of realm. Then there's Wiccan and Speed, which are actually the twins of Scarlet Witch, and one of them has her powers, and the other one has the speed of her brother. These are legit characters.
Yeah, but why does she have the speed of her brother?
Well, I don't know.
It wasn't in her DNA.
Genetically in there, so that's the character.
Wasn't either of the the Mind Stone unlocked abilities.
These are the characters. I'm just throwing them out.
Yeah,
there's a
no,
character called
you.
Patriot, which is technically Captain America. So he has the shield and he has expert powers. There's sort of some military. There's Hawkeye 2.0, which is the daughter. And then there's a character called Stature, which is basically Ant-Man's daughter.
Yes.
So this,
I don't think that's a good name.
So, but what I'm saying is, this is where I think they're
good
headed.
luck. I hope I'll make it cool.
This is where I think they're headed with these characters.
Yes.
I think the next phase is bringing in these new characters. But they're also kind of mimicking Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and staying with it.
I'd be interested to see if they do something non-groupy, and like a bunch of people don't get into a group. Or something.
But they are doing all that. But we're getting all that. You're getting all of that. But what I'm saying is if we're going to go to another phase and roll through again, they want to bring everyone together. Let's just create all those characters again, and maybe the safety of the Disney Channel will allow them to do the Hawkeye daughter and that. And if the Hawkeye daughter kind of works, we go, cool, we can put her in a film. If it doesn't work, they go, well, we're not doing it.
I want to watch 5 TV series and then a movie.
You don't?
No.
I know, but...
I'll just watch the movies, thank you.
But that's the plan. That's what that's what's coming.
You have to. Sorry,
I guarantee
you have to, Paul.
I won't watch any of those.
Not.
Sorry, Brian says you have to.
I won't watch any of those.
You just said you have to.
I'll tell you what I do want. I want a Thor 4, but Tessa Thompson is the new Thor. Because Thor is currently not worthy, in my opinion.
But he caught the thing.
Yeah, I know, and I don't like that.
Oh, well, that's great. Okay,
but just imagine.
Pregnant pause there from everyone that seems to have gone to some
Paul
level
doesn't
of
think
fatigue.
Thor is worthy.
All right, so that's all I got. That's what I got for you moving ahead.
That's great.
That's my possible suggestions
that's
for the next
exciting.
The move through. Some of them will definitely happen. Some of them are rumoured, and some of them were just me throwing out what may possibly be the concept of where the franchise goes in the future. Just step away from those original characters, but also keep that core element. Because the idea of getting a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, a new kind of Hulk character, a new Hawkeye, but they're slightly different characters, and they're the children of. It makes sense.
But there's enough characters out there to do something new.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I'd rather this is like
I want this to be the fake out. I like this to be the fake out. Where they do the Eternals in the background, they do these guys in the foreground. I'm pointing, and I'm pointing to the.
He's pointing at the paper.
You know, if you didn't point, no one would have ever known.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
All mentioned it.
So, I reckon that maybe the forming of the new Young Avengers could be a fake out. I think that could be a cool idea. If they start to build it and they go, nah, but then they just all get killed or something.
But the Young Avengers are quite bratty, apparently, and they're not well accepted by the senior Avengers when they're still in the world, and that causes friction. So they kind of become these Avengers, what I was reading, and they try and solve problems, and then the older ones step in. So we can still get a lot of those older characters stepping in.
I'm happy for any of this to happen, as long as we get to do what we want by the time we get
But it's Phase 7.
By the time we get to Phase 7,
I'm making up my own characters by then.
Yeah.
Alright,
Well,
so
that's
I've got
exciting.
for
I
you,
like
so
that. Thanks for that.
I might be wrong, and someone can please
No.
send in messages and tell us we're wrong. And stuff, but-
Prognostication.
And that is it for part 2 of our MCU Endtrospective. Tune in next week to hear myself, Paul and Ryan discuss Endgame Easter eggs and our top 5 MCU films. We'll also find out the results of a public poll we've been running to rank the MCU films in order of best to worst. And if you want to weigh in on that, just go to our Pitching In Facebook page for the Survey Monkey link. Thank you again to my excellent guests, Paul Grabovac and Ryan Woosnam. Thank you all for listening. Please check us out on the Podbean site and app, iTunes and Facebook. I'm Christian Barratt, and remember that kindness can be critical.